Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 and specifically the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons. And it seems someone's already got the Joy-Cons paired to the PC and already has something up on GitHub to make sure they're recognized. So the project is called Joy-Con 2 to Xbox 360 Virtual Controller. And they say this temporary project, interesting, allows you to connect your Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons to a Windows PC and emulate an Xbox 360 controller. Anyways, if you are interested about this one and wanted to learn more about it, like everything we talk about, links are in the description below right at the bottom. I don't hide my sources. I find it odd that it's a temporary project. I'm wondering if this is just a placeholder for something that'll be released that's a little bit more refined and feature complete. Who knows? And speaking about controllers and features, next up we're talking about Retrom. For those who may be unaware, Retrom is a centralized game library collection management service with a focus on emulation. Configure once and play anywhere. And Retrom just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, version 0.7.27 is the latest update. And with this update, they've added in initial Switch gamepad mapping, not Switch 2, but Switch 1. They say initial support for the following Switch gamepads and their respective default mappings. Switch Pro controller, Switch Joy-Cons, and Switch N64 controller. And speaking about adding stuff, next up we're talking about PlayStation 4 emulation with psOff. And psOff just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, 2025 June 25 is the latest update. And this update has a whole bunch of fixes and some additions here, like the addition of a network adapter selection. There's graphic-specific fixes and network improvements and even more. psOff is still pretty early on in terms of overall development timelines and compatibility, but at the same time here, they've got to release almost every single week and are making improvements in leaps and bounds. And speaking about improvements, next up we're talking about arguably the exact opposite. It's being reported here that Netflix is removing over 20 games, including Hades and Monument Valley. For those who may be unaware, Netflix's AAA gaming studio closed in October, and Engadget is reporting that the Netflix game arm is struggling, and this is a big sign of that. So these games here are reported to leave Netflix in July. I recommend checking out the Engadget article if you wanted to see everything in detail here. But there are some notable ones. Well, a lot of these are notable ones, but I mean Braid, Anniversary Edition, Katana Zero, Hades. I'm really surprised about Hades. I mean, that is a fantastic game. A lot of these are fantastic games. All three Monument Valleys. Even more. I mean, this is not a good sign. And speaking about not good signs of things and kind of killing games, next up we're talking about the end of Stop Killing Games. This is a brand new video put out by Accursed Farms, and I recommend giving it a watch. I think this is a super informative video. I mean, it's over an hour in length, and I don't want to say it covers everything you need to know about the initiative, but it covers a lot of the big points, the controversies, the support, all of that. Honestly here, if they were to go into everything in detail, the video itself would be like 5 hours. I'm not joking with you. But taking a look, some of the big things here are that the petitions, I believe, end at the end of July, and they needed something like 1 million signatures in the EU. And I think they're currently sitting at just under 500,000, which there's a long way to go. So it doesn't seem like the petitions are going to reach the signatures required. Furthermore, there's a lot of clarification in this video about a lot of information that's being spread out there by certain people. It's a very good informative video. If you're interested at all in the Stop Killing Games initiative, I'd recommend checking out this video. If you wanted to get involved or wanted to get interested in it, I'd recommend checking out this video. And if you're not interested in it, but interested in gaming and also consumer rights, you may want to check out this video. If the campaign overall is not successful, I would say it kind of is in a number of different ways. Just raising awareness. I mean, sometimes revolutions take a while to form up. And yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day, and maybe the Stop Killing Games initiative isn't going to solve everything in the time period that we're looking for. But I mean, at the same time here, a lot of progress has been made. Now, we've reported on this one time and time again, and I'm really hoping that this initiative continues to grow and continues to gain support and awareness. I mean, it doesn't necessarily stop at these petitions. I would say if this continues to get attention and gamers continue to take a look at it and it gains in popularity, well, stuff may still happen. It's not all doom and gloom. In fact, Moist Critical has recently put out a video about this one, and this one has already gotten a lot of exposure. And I'm hoping here that this initiative continues to grow. I'm hoping that this is not the true end of the Stop Killing Games initiative. And speaking about raising awareness on things, next up we're talking about dbrand. Now, we talked about dbrand yesterday with their kill switch for the Switch 2 and the tolerances and the Joy-Cons popping off and the reports about all of that. And then dbrand's arguably poor response to the matter. Well, it seems dbrand is doing a 180 here and listening and caring and trying to do something here to make things better and possibly to generate some more positive PR. So here's a summary of the issues with the kill switch in the Switch 2 by dbrand, and I think this one's pretty accurate. When holding the Nintendo Switch 2 in a specific way, detachment between the Joy-Cons and remainder of the console can occur. Some experience this issue and some do not. This discrepancy is due to a manufacturing tolerance issue on the retaining lip that keeps the Joy-Con grip attached to the Joy-Con. And anyone who suffers from the manufacturing tolerance issue can reach out and they'll get them better Joy-Con grips in July. They go on to say, after reading through your feedback, it's quite clear that our post was a spectacularly terrible response to the issue at hand. Some of you have expressed that opinion in a perfectly reasonable way. Others have expressed it with literal death threats. We're not clear on how this went from a problem we need to address to this is the worst company to ever exist. But we acknowledge that every complaint we've received is underpinned by a problem that we alone are responsible for solving. They go on to say, before even starting the solutions, let's state the good news. Everyone, whether or not you're experiencing this issue, is getting a free replacement set of Joy-Con grips. Let me know your thoughts about this one, but I would say this is a 180 compared to the previous post we took a look at, and I think this is the response the company should have had from the very beginning and would have avoided a lot of negative PR, and I think would have generated a lot of good PR for the company overall. And speaking about good PR, next up we're talking about Halo, and this is very surprising, I would say, and very awesome. So if you've never heard of Spartan Survivors before, I'd recommend giving it a look. If you're a fan of bullet hells, if you're a fan of Halo and you're a fan of fan games, well, you might be a fan of this. I'm pretty sure we've covered this one in a previous video, but if not, here you go. So fight hordes of Covenant and Flood in this new game mixing roguelike, Halo, and bullet heaven for hundreds of hours of mindless fun. Made by the community, with the community, for the community, and available for free in 2025. Spartan Survivors is currently up on itch.io, and they say here it's coming to Xbox and Steam as well, again 100% free. And the game size isn't that big at all, it's under 100 megabytes. Now when it comes to fan games, I would say that it can be hit and miss as to whether or not they will survive overall, especially if they're using intellectual property of a larger company. Sometimes in the past, I have seen bigger companies that maybe start with N, maybe they've got a Tendo in there, and maybe they issue a request or something much stronger than that to take down the fan game. But this appears to be the exact opposite, and I would say in the best of ways possible. So here's the tweet. Breaking, Halo Studios reached out to us, and we have their blessing to keep moving forward with the game. Thank you for the support and appreciation. This will not be forgotten. And here is the quote. Really love to see the passion you and your team have poured into this experience. It really is fun, and we look forward to getting further in our playthrough and unlocking more stuff. I mean, that to me, I don't know about you, but this to me is a massive breath of fresh air. I really wish more companies embraced fan communities. Let me know your thoughts about this one, but I would say this is a big W for Spartan Survivors as well as Xbox and Halo. And speaking about Xbox, next up we're talking about something we talked about on the weekend when the rumors appeared to be true. And yeah, they turned out to be true here because the MetaQuest 3S Xbox edition has been unveiled. And this one will set you back $400 US or 399 USD if you wanted to be specific. So basically for $400 you get a custom 128 gigabyte MetaQuest 3X in Xbox Carbon Black and Velocity Green, matching Touch Plus controllers and a limited edition Xbox wireless controller, MetaQuest Elite strap, 3 months of Meta Horizon Plus, and 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Unfortunately, I don't know how many of these they've made, but they say here quantities are extremely limited, and once they're gone, they're gone. I'm assuming that they're going to be scalped left, right, and center, but maybe I'm wrong here. Let me know your thoughts about this one. Next up, we're talking about Square Enix and some information here that seems to have a lot of people excited, but I wouldn't really hold my breath, not just yet anyways. and that's holding your breath for a return to turn-based RPGs like Final Fantasy. So here is the tweet. Square Enix reportedly say they are aware of Expedition 33 and that they value turn-based RPGs. At the Square Enix shareholders meeting, one investor said they would like the new Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy games to be turn-based and highlighted Expedition 33's success as an example. Square Enix responded that they are aware of Expedition 33 and believe that the command-based RPGs are the origin of Square Enix. They value the genre of command-based RPGs and plan to continue delivering such games in the future. That doesn't really say a whole lot. It says a lot, but it doesn't at the same time. There are no promises there. There's no mention of Final Fantasy returning to turn-based. We'll have to wait and see on that one, but based on Expedition 33 and the success of it, and the success of stuff like Baldur's Gate 3, I'm certain Square Enix is paying attention. And speaking about the success of things and companies paying attention, if you know, you know. Next up, we're talking about Palworld. And Palworld, The Tides of Terraria is out now. So in this collab between Palworld and Terraria, there's a whole bunch of new stuff here. There's a Terraria dungeon, a new boss. There's Terraria equipment, fishing, and even more. In terms of collabs, I would say that this is quite a bit of stuff and not really a whole lot of fluff. This seems very detailed and very interesting, and if you're a fan of Terraria and Palworld, even if you're not, you're probably interested in everything that they're offering here. On top of that, they've raised the player level cap from 60 to 65. I'm assuming here that this will be extremely successful, and I'm curious to see what other franchises Palworld collabs with in the future. And speaking about the future, but the very near future, next up we're talking about NVIDIA and the RTX 5050 for desktops and laptops. They have unveiled the 5050 here. The price is, I guess, $249. And it will be launching either mid or late July. Full details and specs are up on the NVIDIA website, but I do recommend checking out the Video Cards website here, as I think they do a better job comparing this and doing a very good job explaining the card in general. I'm curious to see the overall adoption of this card because it only has 8 gigs of RAM. The price point is probably a lot more attractive to a lot of people here. But the performance of this one, I'm going to be a little bit concerned about. Let me know what you think here. I mean, I'm going to be waiting for real-world comparison numbers and seeing how it stacks up against the previous generation and against the current generation, and how this thing plays overall in terms of reception and popularity. And speaking about hardware, last up here, we're talking about Gigabyte, and an update here. If you've got a Gigabyte motherboard you may want to be aware of, there's a brand new firmware update that is reportedly bricking some motherboards. It includes the Z790 series as well as others, and it's the IT5701, IT5702 update. If you are interested in this, I'd recommend checking out the Tom's Hardware article for more information, including links to actual sources. It's a well laid out article. I guess there is some problem with some firmware that was released or dated 24th of November 2024. It may be worth paying attention to. Normally I say it's really great to update to the latest firmware of stuff, but in this case, this seems to be a bit of a misstep, and I'm wondering if revised firmware will be updated and this will be removed. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Well, except the legendary One Fluff, who's been making more and more appearances lately. It is very hot outside. It's cool in my gaming room here, and well, she likes to be where the cool is, except when she wants to be where the warm is in the sun. She's very unpredictable, so I guess I can't really make any statement on where she likes to be because she just does what she wants. If she's around while I'm filming and bugging me, I pick her up and she makes it into the video. If she's not, then she's not in the video. That's just the way things go. Anyways, we talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.